Tales of Arise has built up quite the excitement over the past year, and with the release scheduled for later this year, that excitement continues to rise. I must preface this with the fact that I have not had the opportunity to play any of the games in the series, and this was my first taste of a Tales game. After seeing the trailer of the game, I was already pretty intrigued and was really excited when we got the opportunity to play a demo of Tales of Arise from Bandai. Now, while the demo was short, it was definitely a good time, and all I can say is wow, what an experience that was. I was pulled right into the fast-paced, flashy combat, the unique cast of characters, the absolutely beautiful environment, and to be honest, since this series was so fresh to me, I got more excited within the first 10 minutes of the game than I have for any other game in a long time. Hey guys, I'm Naisu with UnGeek, and here are my first impressions on Tales of Arise. Tales of Arise is an upcoming action RPG developed and published by Bandai Namco, and it's the 17th entry into the Tales series. Arise takes place in a setting divided between the medieval world of Dana and the advanced world of Reyna. The main story follows two characters, each from one place, who end up traveling together. Again, just as a heads up, everything in this demo was basically carved out for this exact purpose. There's definitely a lot still being worked on, and some that hasn't been announced yet. Now, I did get a chance to see the gameplay, the combat, the environment, and a few other details within the game. There is also a character selection screen that you see here that's not included in the main game. It was just a way for us to decide which character we wanted to start the demo with. Even with that being said, I was able to switch characters with ease once in the game. I was left wondering if there would be a different ending throughout the game depending on what characters you chose or the path you took. So I decided to jump right in and start my first playthrough as Alfin, who happens to be from Dana. Alfin seemed like the typical cool guy main character, and I'd rather kill bad guys in style with swords than cast spells from afar. Getting into the game and running around for the first time, I instantly fell in love with the environment and the art style of the game, and once I had my first taste of combat, this is where I really got hooked. Although it took some time getting used to controlling Alfin as well as managing my party, popping off with the abilities called arts, triggering combos, and executing flashy finishers with the team, it was super fun. I began to really enjoy the combat system, and I got a glimpse at how deep and strategic it could be. The environment is somewhat of a semi-open world where there is lots to explore, but not entirely open. But even so, I spent time running around, taking in the sights and enjoying the views. There also seems to be multiple ways to approach objectives or the next area, with lots of exploration to be had. The enemy encounters are an instant type system where you can run around the world, see the enemies, and once you aggro them to your party, you're set to a given area that's instance for you to fight off the enemy. Once all enemies are dead, you are then sent back to the world to explore some more. One thing I really had to get used to as a new player to the games was weaving arts with ground and aerial combos. It took me a little bit of time to get used to knocking an enemy into the air, stringing together combos to win the fight, but once I got that down, I got to see just how beautiful the combat was. This is definitely one of the exciting things about combat, as it allows for experimentation and flashy combat, and that's just with arts. Throw in the boost attacks, which allow members of your party to trigger a single support attack, and each party member also has some type of combat perk that makes their playstyles feel unique. Alfin's was a perk that allowed him to hold down an art after casting it to allow him to use a special art using his blazing sword. Visually, one of the most enjoyable aspects of combat was boost strikes, which can trigger once a certain condition is met to either instantly kill an enemy or deal massive damage to bosses. This was usually paired with some type of animation or short cutscene as the whole team bands together for one big flashy attack at once. Only a couple of variations were available in the demo, but there was mention that there would be many more once the game's released. One thing I also enjoyed about the combat, especially as a newer player myself, was the ability to set how your character and aiming behaved in battle. Manual setting gave you the complete control over your character. Semi-auto will move to the enemy and align you with them, and auto allows the AI to pretty much do everything. So that's basically combat, and for me, combat is one of the biggest factors in a game to determine if I'm going to enjoy it or not. Tales of Arise definitely gets an A+ in my book for their combat. It was fun, addictive, visually pleasing, and strategic. One thing I noticed throughout my playthrough was the amount of interactions between the characters. A lot of dialogue on the surroundings, the things going on within the world were really entertaining. This actually made it really enjoyable to be out in the world, exploring it, and just hearing the characters interact. There is apparently something called skits in the game, but it was not available for us for testing. I believe that'll be something they'll announce in the future, but skits are short, optional chats that help to explore each game's cast, the world they live in, and the circumstances they find themselves in. I'm sure these will add a lot of depth to the characters and the story overall. Throughout the world, you can also camp and cook within the game. Setting up camp allows you to rest up, heal up, and cook a meal, providing a certain buff to the party depending on who cooked it. There is also a crafting system within the game. Although in the demo I was only able to craft 2 items, you can craft by collecting resources throughout the world. Crafting small accessories and items will provide your team with stat boosts and possible new armor upgrades for your team. Now to wrap up the demo, I was set on this last quest to go off and fight a big boss who had been messing with this city. Before heading into this fight, I felt like I had a greater understanding of the combat system, but boy did I learn quickly that I did not have a complete understanding. The boss turned out to be tougher than I expected. I actually needed to learn to properly evade and block to finish the fight, not to mention providing support and healing from the proper characters. Initiating proper combos and defeating the boss actually felt really rewarding when I finally did it, and it got me excited to see what else is in store for the future of the game. All I can say is I had an absolute blast with the demo Bandai Namco provided us with, and I might have played it more than once or twice. Long story short, I wanted more. Mystery and exploration are big things to me when it comes to games that I don't know much about, and Tales of Arise definitely got me interested. I can't wait to further explore the beautiful environment and entire story of the game, not to mention dig further into the characters. I loved playing Alphen, but I was also really into Law and his martial arts type of combat and look. Each character seems to come with a very fun and unique playstyle for anyone to play, and switching it up is done very well. I guess I'll just have to wait for it to be officially released on September 10th of this year. So, are you guys excited for Tales of Arise? Are you longtime fans of the series? Let us know in the comment section below. Again guys, I am Naisu with UnGeek. Until next time, thanks for watching.